All right, what's going on, everybody? So it's the end of March coming up here, and headed into Q2, I wanted to discuss some new narratives that I believe we should be focusing on. One of which is DEGEN chain, which is actually basically a L3 built on top of base chain. Now, you guys know very well that base chain has been really, really popular as of late. We can kind of go to the new pairs category, go to base chain, and you see a ton of different projects, meme listings, projects that I've spoken about before that are extremely popular on base chain. And it has gained a lot of popularity. So if you go to DeFi Llama here and you see base chain as your TVL, your metrics, your stable coins, your revenues. Finally, base is above $1 billion. When I started talking about base, which was at the beginning of the year, it was somewhere around $400 million, right? So now it's climbed almost 3x to the price that we spoke at. So how is base then going to bring about something like DEGEN, and why is the DEGEN chain important? And what exactly is a L3? So we know that for the most part, in crypto, we have layer ones, which are alternative layer one technology chains, things like Ethereum and BNB and Solana. Technically, Ethereum is the original L1, and then everything else is the alt L1, right? Cardano, Avalanche, Solana probably being the most popular of the L1 chain. But now you have a new category that came out a few years ago, which was layer two, which are basically EVM projects for the most part, right? Ethereum related projects, Polygon's Immutable, which is a partnership with Polygon, Arbitrum, Optimism, Mantle, Loopring, Scale, and then of course, like I said, Base Chain, right? Base Chain is a L2 of Ethereum. But what makes DEGEN chain very specific is say L3, and it's built on the side of base chain. Okay. Now, again, I know this is confusing, but it's very important we get to the bottom of this because this is one of the newest technologies that's come out. And I feel like this is, given that it's first to market in the L3 world, it's going to gain extreme popularity. And in my opinion, it's already begun gaining popularity. So you could do your own research and look up the Decrypt article here. They say DEGEN chain debuts on Base as a blockchain equivalent of Las Vegas. I would agree with that, right? Basically, it's a really heavily meme focused degenerate chain. That's what it feels like to me right now. But I will say this, right? If you've actually used DEGEN as a token and you see it in the economy of Farcaster. Now, Farcaster is kind of a Twitter parallel product, meaning they're trying to create a Twitter basically for Web3, right? And here on Farcaster, I've become pretty active, so you could follow me on 0xAML. I post a lot of tweets and stuff. But on Farcaster, the cool thing is like, here's an example of how things look. You could see that you've minted something on base chain, right? You can see that someone has tipped you, X amount of DEGEN tokens. Okay, so this is the kind of cool stuff that you could do within Farcaster itself. Now, the name, by the way, is like Warpcast or Farcaster. I don't really know. But the point is, whatever you want to call it, Warpcast or Farcaster, the DEGEN token here, as I was just gifted, 2000 DEGEN a few days back, it's a very easy way to start tipping people right within the app itself, within Farcaster. So then that creates its own internal usage and economy for something like the DEGEN token, which, by the way, on a monthly basis is currently up 3,400%, right? So it is an incredibly valuable token seen by many as one of the core structures of the Warpcast economy. So that itself gives it, a value, a need, a utility, its own sort of velocity of it being used in the Warpcast and Farcaster ecosystem. Then you build on top of that its own L3, meaning it now has its own chain. Now it has further value, right? So it now becoming an L3 means that you could then build apps on top of DGen. The DGen token could start being used for memes or other DeFi products built on top of it, because it's already a token in and of itself that's being used in Warpcast. So why not make a chain out of it? So I think that's exactly what the developers and founders thought. And clearly it's done incredibly well so far. And I think if you start valuing DGen chain as compared to the other L2s, right, it sits somewhere near maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th, somewhere around 9th and 10th in terms of total market cap. But the reality is, I would say DGen chain has much, much higher probability being somewhere up here, top 1 or top 3 in the category when it really, really starts, pushing up by the end of this year. Okay, so again, this is not investment advice, just telling you guys my general thoughts on the market. Okay, and I do, for a full disclosure, own some DGen token, right? So today I'm going to explain to you why you want to start utilizing DGen, why you want to get on Warpcast and start earning DGen by basically doing whatever you do on Twitter, but then doing it on Warpcast because it's more Web3 centric, and how you can earn free DGen tokens like, I typically do, or I give out DGen tokens to other people. Okay. So whenever I get gifted DGen tokens, you can basically claim them into your wallet, right? So this is kind of my current test wallet, and I just loaded it up with 150 DGen tokens. Now I'm going to explain to you, first of all, how do you get to the DGen chain, right? So I use bridge.dgen.tips. Please do your own research. But this one thus far has been verified as an official source as per the developers. So you can use this bridge to move from, first, you probably want to have some money on either of these L2 chains. Preferably if it's on base, it makes life a lot easier. So here on base, if I have ETH, right? Let's just say I have this $27 worth of ETH. I just do 0.005. I'll move, like, let's just say $17 worth of this ETH into the DGen chain and into the DGen token. If you have DGen tokens on the base chain, that also works, but you can have Ethereum on the base chain and then move that into the DGen token on the DGen chain. Okay, so that's step number one. You want to bridge over your base chain product, base chain assets into the DGen chain. Okay, that's step one. Step two is, or actually prior to step one, you probably need to figure out how to add the DGen chain on the networks, because see, the thing is, like, this DGen chain is not native. You can't just type in DGen like that and it'll show up. I actually had to add this, right? So the way you add that is you can go to revoke.cash and they have this little tutorial of how to add the network. And all you do is you go here, all right, here, add network. And once you get to this page, you could just start by adding the network manually. And here's the network name, what you could do here. Okay, so there's a network name. Here's the RPC URL. Here's a chain ID, symbol, and then block explorer URL. Okay, that's it. And once you save that, this will be then showing up in your networks category as a new network called DGen chain. Okay, so that is technically the prerequisite to the step one that I was telling you about, which is bridging your assets from base chain into the DGen network. Okay, so now that you've got your tokens bridged over to the DGen network, what do you do? Well, the one thing that I started doing was I started finding out what are the different products that are out there that I need to start picking up. Now, again, none of this is investment advice. Please do your own research, right? A lot of this stuff could be crap. It could be worthless. It could go to zero because a lot of them are just memes. So the first thing that I started looking at is once you get to, let's just say Deck Screener, right? You can click on DEGEN Chain here. You could see pretty much all the popular products right now. How much volume are they trading? What price are they at? How many transactions have they had? What are the gains, the liquidity, et cetera, right? These four assets I just picked as a sample. And if you look at the sample here, right, what we see is basically, this thing called a DEPE or DGen swap, which is another unique product. DNU, I think, which is just it's a meme coin, I'm pretty sure. And then of course the DGen token, right? The DGen token is actually on Base, but it's also on the DGen chain. So the DGen token obviously is trading at $450 million, but everything else is relatively, lesser valued um, in terms of overall FDV or valuation, right? So now that we've gotten to that part, we've bridged over some ETH and we have now DGen tokens. You could pretty much see it in your wallet, right? That it's gotten bridged over. And by the way, the bridge from base to DGen takes like 5 minutes. Okay, maybe more like 3 minutes, but still, you got to wait a couple of minutes. It's not instant. So now that you have your DGen tokens, then what I did was I found out, different tokens that are out there. This is a website called mint.club. It's one of the more popular applications that's, going on and people are using. And what you could do is you could just, simply basically exchange your DGen tokens into your Pepe or your DEPE rather, right? So you just quickly click buy here. All right, you sign the transaction in your wallet. The transaction costs are literally close to zero. Okay. And that's, pretty much it. Okay. So you've basically minted, 37,000 or whatever DEPE tokens. And now that you have your DEPE tokens, right? You can hang on to them. Maybe you're able to do other things with them, but you can read up on what the DGen Pepe or DEPE token is exactly. It is pretty much a meme token. So again, none of this is investment advice, not financial advice, but here's all the other links for you to read up on and why and how, this meme might take off or XYZ project might take off on the DGen chain. Now remember, being early sometimes on a new chain means that you're going to take a bit of I don't know, a lashing, meaning you may be wrong. You may pick up the wrong product. You may, swap your DGen token for any of these, stupid meme coins, and they may go to zero, right? But that is kind of the risk that you take for being so early. Now, guess what? The layer two DGen chain basically came out this week. And I mean literally like 2 days ago. So you're fairly early as you're watching this video right now. This came out March 28th. Today we're recording the video on March 30th, just 2 days in. And in 2 days, there's been a lot of money that's been bridged over. I think you could probably go here. Let's see if we can find DGen chain on here and see how much money is in there. 1.25 million, right? That's like literally nothing. I actually don't think this is correct. I would probably say this is closer to like 10 million TVL versus Solana, which has 4 billion versus Base, which has 1 billion. The upside for something like a DGen chain is pretty massive, especially because it is something different, something totally new, something that the market doesn't really know how to value, which is a new L3 chain, right? So what we're going to do is, aside from this DEPE thing, you can explore mint.club and, you can click on airdrops here. And the cool thing here is on mint.club, you can select here on the, let's see here. on the DEGEN chain. And then you'll see a bunch of tokens get populated here, and you're able to effectively, claim free airdrops, right? Which is actually the really cool part, because you don't really have to do a whole lot. And I think this thing is working a little bit slow, so excuse, how slow this is. But the point is that once this thing starts loading up, you'll see you basically get free opportunities to collect free tokens, right? So here, 112 DMEW are available for claiming, and you get one each for a claim. So I'm just going to click claim, and then you go to your wallet right here, and then you just quickly sign it. And again, on the DEGEN chain, these transactions are literally free, right? So I just click claim, and you'll see this thing quickly show me that I've claimed this token, and that's it, right? I've claimed that. And then if you want to claim some other token that you feel like is going to go somewhere, I don't know, maybe this token right here, same thing, right? Go here, just hit confirm. Again, the transaction fees are literally, very close to zero. And then that's pretty much it, right? So you could do this for a lot of these tokens on mint.club, okay? And then aside from that, you can create your own sort of bonding curve. And again, I'm not going to get into this because I don't know that much about it, and I really don't think it's necessary for anyone to get that complex with what you want to do with your assets. But the point is, there's a lot of options available. This thing, this entire DEGEN chain is very new. There's very few products out there like DEGEN Swap that I told you about, and even DEGEN Swap, right? DSwap trades at $7.2 million. Your DEXs and your swap protocols, if you kind of look on other, like if I type in DEX category, okay, categories, DEXs, right? DEXs trade anywhere up to the highest valuation, which is like Uniswap, trades at 10 billion, and some of the lower valuations are, 1 million, 5 million, and somewhere in the mid tier, like 60 to 70 million. So maybe DEGEN Swap becomes the top tier swap DEX on DEGEN chain. Does that get valued a little bit higher than 7.3 million? That's possible, right? So anyway, not financial advice. I just want to give you guys the rundown of what exactly is this new L3. How do you want to bridge your assets to it? Why you should be on a product like Warpcast, because you can earn these DEGEN tokens basically for free. If you use my link below, I have an invite link posted. If you use my link to sign up, you will get some warps, which are these little point systems. And if you tag me or something, or you send me a DM, I might be able to drop you some of these DEGEN tokens, right? And so you can play around with it, and be on your way to exploring the DEGEN chain. Okay, that's pretty much it, folks. That's all I got for y'all. Wanted to give you the rundown on DEGEN chain. Hope this is helpful. Take care. Cheers, and talk soon.